Hi to all you amazing parents out there. I'm Sasha from Try Joyful Learning Center, and I'm continuing a 3-part series on movement-based learning. Last week, we spoke about our children moving their feet. This week, we're going to be talking about our hands, and be sure to stay tuned because next week, I'll be talking about the most hot topic is what do we do for our talkative kids who want to move their mouths? So today, as we talk about moving our hands and learning what does that mean, what does that look like, let's just first imagine your child who thrives in all environments required to sit still, whether that's doing some online learning, whether it's sitting at the kitchen table or in the car or at church. There are ways that we can get our child to want to sit still if we allow them to still incorporate movement in that. Gone are their days of requiring everyone to sit completely frigid and still. There's ways to incorporate movement that is going to help your child keep their brain focused and not distract the people around. So let's get into talking about how they're going to use their hands. All right, so if you have a child who's constantly just needing to move their hands, and these are children who might be scribbling, they might be flipping things around, it could even be those who are easily distracted, like they're looking around. Usually they just need some sort of sensory input, something to use in their hands so that they can feel calm, relaxed, and focused. And what I always say is that this is all trial and error. We've gone away from the time where kids were allowed to move and enjoy moving and enjoy playing and discovering to just focusing on sitting still. And as we move back into the natural way that our children and even us were designed to learn and grow and process, it's going to take some trial and error to figure out what's going to help your child. So I always want to make it so important that if we're doing any movement-based learning, to let you parents know that this movement has to keep their brain focused on the task. If it's not keeping their brain focused on the task and it's distracting them, then it's not a fidget, it's not a useful tool, it's just simply a play toy. So the best way is all about trial and error. So how do we try the trial and error and know what's doing, right? How do we gather good data and figure out what's working and what isn't? The strategy that I always like to use is just try something for 2 minutes and always include your child. Having your child buy into this is a great way to help them become independent, because we don't want to just do things for the short term to get through dinner, to get through the next school year. We want to be thinking about what our child is going to be in the future. God is prophetic. He's always thinking and doing things into our future. And as parents, we have to be thinking that way too, to be aligned with the bright, fulfilling future God has for them. So what I encourage people to do is just talk to their child and say, I notice you're doing a lot of movement, you're just moving your upper body a lot. And what I want to do is create a way for you to get your hands moving in a way that's productive for you, keeps you focused, and doesn't distract you. And lay out some of the choices so you can let them know that they can hold a stress ball, that they could doodle, that they can hold some silly putty. Another thing that might sound different, but it works really well with some kids, is putting like different colored glitter in a tiny jar and just allowing them to shake it. It could even be like having one of those little hourglasses and just having that opportunity to turn it every 2 minutes, just that little movement of their hand. So lay out a bunch of choices for them. I always encourage you to just search on the internet too, like what are common hand fidgets, so that you can think outside of the box versus the basic twirling fidgets that we see, or stress balls. There's so many different things. We have so many different unique minds out there. And then just give them like 3-4 choices at most in a sitting period, and then just try it for 2 minutes. And after working for 2 minutes, like let's say that they're practicing reading. So just for 2 minutes as you read, try this in your hand. And then ask some questions afterwards. Okay, tell me a little bit about the book. What did you read? Just to ensure that they were learning and their brain was staying focused on the task at hand. And then get their feelings, their input. How did you feel about this? Do you think this was comfortable for them? And it's simply just like trying on clothes, where you go to the store and they have the corners where it's like they have the 3 different options. These are the ones that you don't like. Here are the maybes. Here are the loves. Go ahead and put them in those categories. And then once you're done with those 4 items, those 3 or 4 items, and you have the no's, you have the maybes, you have I love, then go back with the maybes and I love, and do longer sessions. So what I suggest to do is then the following day, because we never want to overwhelm with doing all of these new things and figuring it out and doing test studies. It's fun as long as it's continued to be light in a game. If not, it's just going to discourage your child. So what you can do is then the next day, come in and say, okay, let's look at your love items. What we're going to do is for today, we're going to use one of them. And then just keep checking in, look at them, see if they're focused, see if they're using in a way that's going to be not distracting to others around. So for instance, a child who may like just squeezing something hard like a tennis ball, throwing it up against the wall may not be the best. If that's how they want to use the ball and they naturally keep doing that, then that might not be the best solution, because that could be distracting to other kids around, that it can break things. So if they are unable to keep it in their hand and not distract others, then finding something different is going to be better. And so that day 2, when you're just doing it for a longer time period, that 10, 30 minutes that you're working, be sure again to pop in and ask questions. Just see how they're doing, see how they're feeling, ask comprehension questions on what they're learning, and then just do like a survey at the end. And you can even have something that you print out, just like a simple smiley face. Like, would you want to use this? Circle the smiley face or circle the frowny face. And then over the next few days, 2-3 days, use the other ones that they loved or the maybe, and then come up, and then they'll start being able to start self-advocating. They'll start understanding what they're looking for, that they're looking for not a toy. They're looking for something that keeps their brain focused, which means that they're concentrating on the task at hand, something that makes their body and their mind, so their soul and body, feel comfortable and calm, and something that's not going to distract others. As you spend this, 3 days just talking them and drilling through what is a fidget, how do we move our hand, they're going to naturally start understanding it themselves, and even maybe come up with new suggestions to try, new fidgets to try out. And that's going to be the ultimate buy-in, because again, we want to be prophetic. We want to be forward thinking. We want our children to start self-advocating and understand, what are the tools I need to have a bright, fulfilling future. Okay, parents, that's just some quick, fast tips on how to use your hands. And be sure to check in next week when we talk about how to help our children who are talkative and want to move their mouths. You're not going to want to miss that. All right, I'm believing that was helpful. Now, if you're needing more individualized support for your child, I'm here to help. At Try Joyful Learning Center, I ignite a love of learning through transformative online tutoring for K-8 graders. My approach? I seamlessly integrate academics, social emotional learning, and life skills to create a personalized plan for your child that will propel them into the bright, fulfilling future God has for them. So check out my website and schedule your free consultation today. Until next time, peace and love. Bye.